started off, I thought, playing very well. We were moving our feet, generating offense and creating power play opportunities because of it. And then we took the last 3 penalties. We scored 3 power play goals. And in the third, played a much more free-flowing game. We got tight and started to play, not making plays and making individual plays. And they took it to us in the third. And it's not, look, it's not one play at the end by one individual that cost us the game by any means. No way. This was, we got tight. We stopped doing the things that that got us to the point where we were at, and that's what happened.
Coach, how big were the 5-1-3 and then the 5-1-4 that came after it in terms of momentum? Did you feel like the ice really went their way at that point?
Of course it did. We were. I would think that we were possibly a goal from icing the thing, and you take. Not only do you take penalties that can cause that momentum shift, but obviously when you score on them, that's even that's a huge shift, and you go from thinking that you could possibly, you're 1 goal a game from being in control to, man, the ice is really tilted downhill now. And so yes, that's absolutely, those are huge turning points.
Last night when the players came in here, they said that the team needed to play a full 60 minutes. And that the first period last night wasn't a good start. Correct. Is today kind of the opposite of that?
Yes, you're absolutely correct. We came out well and we skated, and then we got tight and took penalties, and I've told you before that it's tough to play, but in this case we a couple of those penalties were just mental lapses, just bad plays, and they're on us, and that's exactly what happened.
A couple of weeks ago, before UMass Lowell, you said that you weren't pleased with the progress to that point in the season. Now, 4 games later, all 4 games against ranked opponents, 4 losses. But can you assess where the team's at now? Are you more happy with it?
You're asking me this question 15 minutes after we just lost in the last couple seconds, so I obviously don't feel very positive. But I like the question. Certainly, believe it or not, we played a whole lot better tonight than we had early in the year, and even in some of the wins that we've had. But we have a long way to go. Union is an excellent hockey team. I heard Wisconsin is pretty good too. You know what I mean? It's not getting any easier. I respect Union tremendously. They're a great team, but it's not getting any easier. So from the start of the season up to this point, you try to gain experience and you try to learn lessons, and we've had that opportunity, but we sort of thought that we were taking a step, and obviously in the third period we let it get away, and so I'm pleased with the progress, but we definitely took a step back tonight. Or not tonight, I take that back in the third period.
To kind of bounce off of that, there were a lot of good things that you did during that game, especially the first period might have, at least as we saw it, one of the better periods that you played this year.
I agree with that.
McAdam plays great in goal. How do you balance out the positives that you take away from this, aside from the negatives that come out of it in some mental areas?
The answer to your question is immaturity. We have to grow up. I think that Division I hockey is, you have a lot of very mentally tough individuals and very mentally tough teams, and then you get in the Big Ten and you've got some incredibly mentally tough teams that are incredibly talented too. And we have to grow up, because we have to understand that the type of game that we have to play to have success is not an easy game to play. It's a very mentally grueling game that we have to play. If we want to have success, the commitment that you have to make is phenomenal. It is. And if we think we're just going to go and play an easy game, a simple game, a skill game, and match talent, well, we're in real big trouble. And we don't have the maturity right now to realize that. That's what I think it is. I think that we've had some negative results that should lend us to realizing that, but we haven't grown up and realize what it takes to do that consistently.
Do you think, from a coaching perspective, is there some positive to take from the fact that you're not trying to win some of the skill set battles now? You're trying to win a mental battle with your own team rather than, any given possession up against the board or something in front of the
we're very aware of that. This isn't something that we just realized. I mean, we're very aware of that, and we were hoping that we would be a little further along in the consistency of that. Really, I feel that way. I feel a little bit immature right now, and there certainly is progress, but at the same time, that's something that's a big, mental toughness, and it's something we do take pride in. We didn't just come up with this tonight. I mean, it's something that we've recognized for a while, and are really waiting to get a whole effort. And it's tough to answer that question right now. I hope you understand.
Did you think Thompson had the right read? Their guy scored that goal. We thought he played it well.
Chief Thompson played well tonight. I'm telling you, he played a great hockey game. I feel bad because that happened to him, because he played a great hockey game. He really did. You give some credit to their forward who made that play, but I tell you what, that one, I really hope for David's sake that he doesn't feel negative about his overall game. He really did have a very strong game. Him and Patrick Cowdice were the best D pair on the ice as far as I'm concerned, and it's really unfortunate that happened at the end, but that has, by no means is that why we lost the game. Absolutely not even close.
In terms of the third period, second half of the game, it didn't seem like the scoring chances maybe came as quality as they did in the first. Why was that?
Yeah, I felt that we stopped skating. We started playing tight. If you saw in the third period, they started making plays and playing fluid, and we didn't seem to have the same explosiveness, and we didn't have the same. We got tight. Instead of making plays that were there, we were trying to then just get it out, and then we played a little bit individual too. When there were plays to make, we were a little tight. So that's what I think. That's the difference to me. That's how it felt on the bench.
When you say tight, I mean that has a lot of different connotations. Do you mean like conservative, or just
no,
like not just kind of like just standing, like not making,
nervous,
taking advantage?
Nervous. No, nervous. They made plays. Mm-hmm. I think we stopped skating a little bit, but I also think when we got the puck, we were nervous, and instead of looking to make plays, we were nervous, tight, and made. We weren't making plays. We were getting rid of it. And then when we had it, instead of making a play that was there, we were losing it, or we weren't making plays. That's what I mean by tight, nervous tight.
Did that have any effect, or did the fact that Union was the number 15 team in the country have any effect on that? Or
I don't feel that way. I think we felt, as I mentioned before, that we were close to a goal or two away from icing this thing, yeah. and then it came back. We made some stupid plays. We were in the box, and it came back on us, and we started getting tight and nervous. That's what I think it was. I don't think it has. We understand playing in this league. We're going to play great opponents. That wasn't the issue.
You talk about maturity. To kind of go back to that, do you feel like that's an asset that you have on your team that's not activated for a full 60 minutes, so to speak, or is it something that you're still trying to find on the team?
Well, we're still trying to find it. We're very, very young program with very young experiences, so that often comes. It's not like you can just bring guys together and you're done. You get maturity by playing in wars. You get maturity by losing a game in the last seconds. You get maturity by battling and winning games in the last second. We haven't had a lot of those, so we've had very limited experiences against top teams like that. That's what I mean by it. So is it untapped? I hope so. I certainly expect it to be a lot better.
Maturity is not necessarily implying immaturity in a personnel, person-to-person sense. It's maturity and experience and cohesion.
In a team sense, we're an immature team. We haven't had the experiences to be able to settle down. To answer your question of why you get tight, like we haven't had a lot of games against top opponents that have started to come back. That's what I mean. We have immature experiences right now.
Coach, a couple more. I heard Scheid had 5 points this weekend. He seems to be a guy that when he has the puck in the offensive zone, he kind of just slows the game down.
Yeah.
What does he bring to your offense, and how impressed were you with his play against a very good opponent?
I think if you look at one of the plays that really sticks in my mind is Luke's power play goal. When Scheid had it in the corner and actually saw him, Luke snuck in from the left point and Eric had to, he saw him, but he also had to thread the needle a little bit. It was a very confident play. So what, to answer your question, what does he bring? He does bring speed when he wants to turn it on. You've seen that, but he has vision, and he has. He's a guy that when you say slow it down, he has an ability to have a calm head while he's moving, and with that calm head and vision, he can make plays like that. So that's what I think he brings.
Coach, David Glenn finally gets his first goal tonight on sort of a bizarre play. Do you think something like that can sort of get him going?
Yeah, I think we all thought that as soon as that happened on the bench. I think that thought popped into our head that that's what he needs to get himself going. David Glenn played a very good game. He does. He plays to win. He's a warrior. He's a great player, and I'm hoping that it takes something like that to really spur him on. I wouldn't be surprised if you were exactly correct.